Yo, 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 yo. We live now. What's up, peoples? Let me check it out. Just checking out a couple things. This is going to be super quick. I know I said it before, but look, I'm not going to lie this time. I got some things to do before the wife punches me in the middle of the face. So I can only spare about 30 minutes or less. Plus, MC in the mornings is coming on. I know y'all going to jump all out of the window for that. So I ain't even going to try to compete. I just got, it's a big topic. But it is something that I can wrap up real quick. All right, so we got that out there. Word up, word up, word up. What's up, peoples? Hey, young world. What's up? It's your boy MM2K back again with another one. You know what I'm saying? Doing the streams when I can so I can get this medicine out here to the peoples, because there's a sickness out here. It's crazy, man. 2018 is just wow. What else can I say? Wow, Yo, and I gotta apologize first and foremost, but I'm gonna make this quick. I've had this Yeti. What's up? Oh yeah, my man Garrett showed up in the chat. What's up, Garrett? King's Blood Gaming. Whatever, motherfucker. Oh man, yo, I'm gonna make this quick because I got my Yeti for Christmas, and then even though I got it for Christmas, I just found out that I can control the volume setup and the array and how it picks up volume, all this other stuff, man. So y'all might be hearing police sirens, mugs getting shot outside. I'm trying to work on this. It's picking up too much stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah, like that vibration right there, because I can hear it through my headphones now. So I'm working on that. But needless to say, all right, let me get this rolling. Let me get this rolling. All right, so the reason why I had to make this tape was because, what's up, the finest? What's going on, man? The reason why I felt like that I had to do this is because there's a misconception out there, because I've been getting people that have been responding to some of my videos, you know what I mean? There's a misconception of where I stand as far as this whole generation is concerned. Stuff that I'm seeing out there on Twitter and things that just need to be addressed. All right. So first and foremost, let's just get to it. I just want everybody to know, because there's a lot of people out there that say, yo, MM2K, you salty, that God of War is doing good. God of War scores got you, on some FN stuff, you know what I mean? And oh, what's up? Oh, I'm here, bro. Oh, okay. I know you here, Garrett. I know you here, bro. That you jealous that's why you was sitting there attacking everybody. No, man. I got a lot of people hit me up on Facebook. Oh, why are you doing this? Why are you doing it? Look, man. Look. I don't care about God of War. I don't care about Sony games. Sony games don't do them for me. I'm going to review God of War just because that's what I like to do. I got into this thing in 2017 because my whole thing was, well, what's this whole shebang about Sony's cranking out the stellar titles for the ultra hardcore? You know what I'm saying? Cats like me, as far as gaming is concerned, is it true? And then that's when I hopped on Uncharted, did Horizon Zero Dawn, played some Nier, and so forth, you know what I mean? And I really wanted to evaluate that whole claim myself. So yeah, I'm going to review God of War. I already got my PlayStation 4 at Rent-A-Center. I went and did it yesterday. Quick story. Look, so I'm about to go buy a PS4 Slim because I refused to buy a Pro. The graphical upgrade to me just wasn't there. But I already got bamboozled. Fool me once, shame on me. Shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. You know what I mean? So my man's was like, big ups to my man Samson. Me and him got this funny Xbox One X reveal video. I might just put it out there. I just came across it. He was like, yo, why is you buying a PlayStation 4 Pro? I know you don't even mess with the PlayStation. You like, this thing is going to send and collect dust. Why are you about to drop another $300 on it? Just because you can do it. I was like, no, because, and I'm sitting there trying to make this. I was like, but I got to review stuff. And he's like, well, you going to review Spider-Man. When's that coming out? I was like, September. He's like, so this thing is going to sit and collect us from September, from April to September. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the purpose? And I'm like, yeah, you right. He's like, bro, He's like, I don't know about you gaming weirdos, but I would take my ass over to Aaron's. There's a place called Aaron's, and we're gonna go get we go get a PlayStation from there. And you know what? I took my silly ass to Aaron's, and I rented my PlayStation. I'm gonna pick it up on Monday, man. I'm not. Yeah, I mean, he's right. He's right. Just because I'm a gamer doesn't mean that I got to be reckless, you know, and just be wasting money here and there. So I'm not going to do it. I'm going to get my PlayStation 4. I'm going to get my God of War copy. You know what I'm saying? I already got that free coming too. You know what I mean? Well, kind of free. I got that coming. I'm going to play the game. My anticipation is not high for this game. I expect I'm going to play it for like maybe 4 or 5 days maximum. And then I'm going to review it, and I'm not expecting high from this. It's not going to make me want to keep it. If in the reality, in the possibility, that God of War blows my mind, then hell yeah, I'm going to take my $200-300 and I'm going to buy me a PlayStation 4 Slim. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm not getting a Pro if I do buy one. But if it does blow my mind, I will get the Slim. But I don't have any high expectations of that. But again, look, I don't look for PlayStation to give me what I'm looking for. Okay. I understand why a lot of people picked up PlayStation systems. Okay. And it's a good thing my brother King's Blood Gaming is in here, because I know he would agree that the power narrative was real. People picked up the PlayStation 4, excuse me, I think I said 3. People picked up the PlayStation 4s because they was walking in stores. They said, okay, the casuals was like, hold on. What the hell? Okay, we got this Xbox One, and then we got this PlayStation 4. All right, now, what's really the difference? And people in the stores was like, well, hey, look, if you like the online experience and you like Halo and stuff like that, then, you know, you get on the Xbox. But for your multiplats, your Call of Duties and stuff like that, they showed you that the frame rates and the resolution was going to be better. You pick up your PlayStation 4. Now, casuals don't know any better, so they fell into that hype and they picked up the PlayStation 4s and they used them. And then their friends had them, and then so forth and so forth. And that is not Sony's fault. I don't blame Sony for that. This stemmed from last generation, when at the end of that generation, if you people got to stop having short-term memory. At the end of last generation, nobody was pumping new innovative experiences that was forthcoming and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? They was pumping graphics and compute units, okay, and polygons. They was doing it with the Unreal 4 engine that was coming out. They just kept hammering you in article after article. Sony saw that was the shebang to roll with, so they started doing the same thing. This is how Uncharted 4 is going to look. Look at the pores and the compute units and all this other stuff. They started hammering you with that stuff. You know what I mean? All at the end of last generation. Now, what was Microsoft doing? Microsoft was focusing on Connect. So they was already behind the curve. Microsoft lost its mind and thought that because they were winning the generation, and they were winning it handily as far as software is concerned, they thought, okay, we got them. We're going to control the narrative. And they thought they had enough power to do so. Which they didn't realize is that a lot of the people that were boosting the brand last generation were converts from the PlayStation 2 era. And these people don't hold a flag anywhere. They just go wherever they think the hype is at. And Microsoft celebrated before the buzzer sounded. You know what I'm saying? And they got caught, you know, they got caught doing it coming into this generation, when they tried to throw that gimmick out there, and Sony kept pressing that power narrative that was being advertised last generation. They just left Microsoft flat-footed. You know, but the power narrative was real. It was something that was used for Sony to bolster their brand, to do something called product placement. Look, I know a couple managers out at GameStop, I'm sorry. And talking to them, because I just be sitting back there creeping, just going through the games and stuff like that, just looking and listening to what they saying to people. And I'm like, yo, bro, why is you sitting there telling it to them like this when the difference ain't that grand? And they're like, hey, Microsoft didn't do a good job in product placement. They didn't do a good job in really selling you their item. We got to make a distinction for our customers. People don't know what the advantage is of the Xbox One. The biggest narrative that we can pluck out of all this information we've been given is that one is more powerful than the other. Because even if you do like Halo or whatever, that's not coming out yet. We don't know when the next Halo is coming out at the time in 2013. So the biggest thing that we can pluck from all this information we've been given is that, we know Xbox's online services are great, but your games are going to play better on the PlayStation 4 because that's what everybody's out here saying. That's the most plausible thing we can pluck out of this information. That's what we're rolling with. We got to sell units, and we got to make distinctions. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they did. And it helped Sony. And then, like I said, the biggest push over that hill was when Kojima came out and said, yo, after all this 60 frames per second, when nobody knew what the hell that was beforehand or cared about it, when the frames per second started to become the narrative and that thing that everybody was focusing on, here comes Kojima. 2014, when Sony ain't had no games, and said, look, you want to get that PlayStation 4? Because it can do 1080p, 60 frames per second, with room to spare. If you pay attention to when he made that announcement, to when the gap started to widen, it's right after he made that announcement. Kojima's one of the biggest development names out there, too hardcore and casual people. So the power narrative did exist. The thing is that whoever's the leader at that time controls the narrative. Sony controlled the narrative. They ran with the power, left Microsoft flat-footed. When they were losing the power narrative, they switched it up. They switched it up to games. You can't blame them. So it's nothing against Sony, but the power narrative did exist. It was a very effective strategy. They just switched it up, and they had the right to switch it up. And Microsoft, being a multi-billion-dollar company, them playing catch up, that's on them. They were left flat-footed. What's up to Top Dog? Hey, Mos, don't start no shit this morning. I gotta start my shit. I only got 15 more minutes. So let me hurry the hell up because I'm well behind here. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the power narrative did exist. And this is another reason why attach rates do matter too. Sony is smart. They pay attention to attach rates. Don't listen to this attach rates don't matter stuff out here. If you notice, every generation, Sony's big hitter games come out in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? The ones that they know are going to sell well. We knew that a Last of Us remake was going to sell well. We knew a Drake remake was going to sell well. We knew an Uncharted 4 was going to sell well. Because they look at their internals and they look at the internal attach rates and they say, look, for these games that are talked about the most, that you hear about everywhere, we're talking about attach rates of 15, 20% potentially. We can release these early. You're forgetting that the power narrative was beginning of last gen. Yeah, the power narrative may have been talked about the beginning of last gen, and Sony lost that narrative. You know what I'm saying? Because they had a $600 console, but the power narrative didn't work last gen because there were games. There were games on the 360 on the competing platform. There were no games on any platform the beginning of this gen that people really cared about. You know what I mean? So the power narrative didn't mean anything for Sony because even though they spoke of the power narrative, the cell processor, and I'm responding to King's Blood in the chat, the Sony processor didn't produce the power that it spoke of at first until Uncharted came out. The vast majority of gamers or developers couldn't develop for the cell processor. The games look better on the 360. So yeah, the power narrative was around last gen. They tried to push that, but Sony failed executing, showing you the power because no one could develop for the cell processor. So yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, Garrett, but you got to look at everything in totality. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that the power is the only thing that matters. When I say the power narrative, I mean marketing strategy. Marketing, as far as marketing is concerned, the power narrative was real, and it was not a successful strategy for Sony last gen because they couldn't show you the power. This generation is successful because they showed you the power because Microsoft really didn't have any titles that was garnering anybody's attention. None of them really had any games out there exclusively that was garnering attention. So what did they do? They had to survive off the power of the multiplats. Your Call of Duties are going to play better. Your Witcher 3s is going to play better. All the big name games, the beginning of this generation, everybody was talking about those playing better on the PlayStation. That's where everybody started to flock to. I done had conversations with faithful Xbox dudes that was like, yo, the PlayStation 4, man, that thing looks crisp. Oh, it looks like this and the performance way better. I'm getting that. And they jump ship. So it was always, the narrative is always out there as a marketing strategy. It just depends upon how you use it, how you utilize it. And Sony utilized it very well. They didn't do it so well last generation. They learned from their mistakes. But because they didn't execute it well this last gen, and because Microsoft ain't executing it well mid-gen, does not mean that it doesn't exist. It exists. It's a marketing strategy. Just like how I was just, I'm gonna jump back to attach rates. Attach rates is a marketing strategy. Attach rates don't mean dollar for dollar, but they're used as internals. Sony will say, you know what? A game like Uncharted is going to do 15-20% attach rate early on. You know what I'm saying? This generation. That's why they put it out there early. Feast on this until we get the other stuff out there, the more riskier stuff out there. You know what I'm saying? Horizon Zero Dawn was a risk for them. God of War, even though God of War is a popular franchise, it was a risk for them because the last one was considered to be a failure in a lot of ways. Not always, but in a lot of ways, it was considered to be a failure. Detroit 2 Human or Detroit Human Made or whatever the hell it is, that's considered a risk. Days Gone, that's considered a risk. So the more riskier games they're going to put out that have a potential lower attach rate, they're going to put them out there when there's more consoles out there. It's a smart strategy. I'm not saying it's what matters. You got to understand the difference between what matters to us as gamers and what matters to them behind the executive desks. We got to be able to make that distinction. So if we can't make that distinction, then we're going to be lost in the sauce, and we're not going to understand why these corporations are doing what they're doing. And Dr. Spreadsheets is here to give you the business side, to give you the business aspect of things. I'm not going to tell you everything that you know, that you already know. I'm not here to preach to the choir, because then what's my purpose? We got to have discussions about things that you guys aren't aware of so we can grow. That's the point of it. I don't want to sit here and just talk about something that I already know with somebody. That's a waste of my time. I'm sorry if I sound arrogant or sound like an asshole. That's a waste of my time. What's something that you're giving me that's fruitful? You know what I mean? So, yeah, I get to where attach rates and the power narrative may not be things to us, the hardcore gamer, but to the businessman behind the executive desk, it means a hell of a lot. So, yeah. So Sony sold the power narrative until they got their exclusives up. It was a good marketing strategy. Microsoft was left flat-footed. They was playing catch-up because they was on some old other shebang. Nonetheless, with all that being said, and with King's Blood going crazy in the chat, with all that being said, we're 5 years later into the console era. We can whine and cry all we want. We cannot sit here and whine about a 5-year-old strategy that worked for Sony. It worked. We're past it now. Who cares? Who cares? Now, why do I say that? I say that because we can't keep arguing that, man. It happened. That's like watching a football game and arguing something that the team did in a prior game. That game is over. This is a new game. You got to be ready for them now. And if you're not ready for them now, then there's a lot to be said about you and the person that's in charge and the people that you have on your team. Now, in 2017, yeah, I argued that the online infrastructure was good. You know what I'm saying? As far as the security and then the people playing. If you notice with the PlayStation people, whenever they talk the hardcore PlayStation people, whenever they talk competitive play, they want you to get into a fighter. That's it. But the Xbox cats, you know what I'm saying? Like, get it, your squad will get on Titanfall, whatever the case may be. They'll do an array of things. That's because the hardcore people are generally not online people. My man Top Dog in the chat says the first Gears of War helped Microsoft also. The first Gears of War helped because it was big for the co-op narrative. Look, For those that don't follow me regularly, this is my first time on YouTube, but this ain't my first time doing the whole gaming shebang. You know what I mean? Before, back in last generation, the beginning of last generation, I was working with a group of losers. We called ourselves the New Age Faction, and we was petitioning, we was battling Microsoft. We was Xbox enthusiasts or fanboys, whatever you want to call it, and we was battling Microsoft. We said, look, Bill Gates, why is y'all on the commercials with Shaq and whoever with these frag parties and all this other stuff, but y'all mugs ain't got no separate screen co-op, man? Come on. You got all this land frag and all this other stuff. Come on. We was petitioning, sending letters and emails to them, and then the mugs came out with Gears of War and Crackdown and shut us the hell up. and we just disbanded. We was like, okay, went out, and then they influenced the industry, and then co-op started to flourish. You know what I'm saying? Across the industry. So yeah, Gears helped because of the whole co-op narrative. But it was a theme, Top Dog, that we're bringing you experiences that you normally don't see on the console. You're used to what Sony gives you. They give you a lot of Japanese-inspired titles, whether they're RPGs or Katamari or fighters, you know, over-the-top fighters with all the pizzazz and the sparks and stuff like that. But we're giving you more realistic, more photorealism stuff that is coming from Western developers. And they reporting that stuff over, you know what I'm saying? And that's what pulled me in as an Xbox enthusiast. You know what I'm saying? I like the new games, the PC-esque type games that Microsoft was ushering onto the scene. What's up? Big ups to Tip Diamond up in the chat. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, I say this all the time. Ken Levine of BioShock told you if it wasn't for his interaction with Microsoft and Bill Gates, you would not see a BioShock. They helped pump money and influence that game. And me personally, as the ultra hardcore gamer, you know, I'm looking for innovative and new gaming experiences all the time. That I can't imagine a gaming world without BioShock and all of its influences. So if you look at a game like BioShock, and you look at a game like Mass Effect, and then you look at games that are on Sony, you can understand why Sony don't do anything for me. You know what I'm saying? The type of depth that I'm looking for in a video game is not what Sony presents. Sony is more cinematic. You know, their things are more interactive. They're not really that focused on gameplay. That's why something like an Uncharted 4, me being able to breeze through that is a problem for me. This is the finale of the series to me. That's a problem. To where the average person just thinks I'm hating. But there are all types of gamers out here. We make up all types of makeups. You know what I mean? So, because we make all types of makeups, we can't all... I understand this is the social media era. I understand where it's big for us to have a crowd mentality and roll through things like sheep. But you got to have some individuality. You know what I mean? You got to have some individuality. You got to understand there's different sectors of gamers. And for me to be able to look at a God of War and say, you know what, that just does not suit my taste. That should not sit in the world of Ablaze or send people wanting to send me crazy shit in Facebook. Man, stop. I mean, you can send it. It really don't. I'm not upset about it. I'm just saying it doesn't bother me that you're sending it. It's bothering me that that's your mind state. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop with the sheep mentality, because your sheep mentality is what's holding gaming back too, because the industry reacts to what you're purchasing. And I get it that you may like God of War, the physics and all the other stuff, but you know what I'm saying? We got some game challenge too when we and big ups to my man Game Blood. We can't have the I think he said the mystery room challenge games like the Dark Souls. We can't just have that be what we call challenging, just uber difficult. You know what I'm saying? Like, integrate gameplay, story, and challenge it to a smooth process, something that keeps growing and growing and growing. So me not caring for God of War shouldn't send people ablaze. And if you like God of War, fine. But we need to have a multifaceted of different types of games out here. Everybody shouldn't flock. Oh, this is what I like, and so you got to like it too. Get the hell out of here. But like I said, in 2017, I was arguing that Microsoft did have a console or have an ecosystem that did have value. The online infrastructure, EA Access, Game Pass. You know what I'm saying? The Xbox One X was coming out, and That's what gave the system value for hardcore gamers over the competition to me. But this is 2018 now. This is 5 years later. I want to see Microsoft ushering those innovative games that brought me onto the system by now. Don't confuse my 2017 arguments with what I'm arguing now. I didn't flip the script. When I was arguing in 2017, I was arguing against the naysayers that said, oh, Microsoft has no value. It has plenty of value to a gamer. If you're a multi-plat gamer, which the majority of gamers are now, if you're a multi-plat gamer, then yes, the system has value. Don't listen to the babble out there. But if you're a hardcore gamer that is looking for Microsoft to usher in these new experiences that brought you on aboard, then there's a problem. And the problem is that they are trying to bypass their hardcore and go into this 2.1 billion potential users market. And I know I only got 2 minutes, so I'm gonna make this quick. That's what the new regime wants to do. They want to focus on everybody friendly type gaming. Now, again, I said I don't admire nothing from Sony. But the only thing I admire from them game-wise is how they always put their hardcore first. They always put their hardcore first. Sony does not look past them with gimmicks. Like, they may have stuff like the iToy because they wanted to pick up on the success of what the Wii was doing. But as soon as they realized that wasn't working, they dropped it. They just cut their losses. They've made bad choices, but they work to fix them quickly. Microsoft, on the other hand, is always looking past its core. Last gen with the Kinect, nobody wanted that shit. Excuse my French, nobody wanted to ask for that. And then their response to fix the whole issues with the Kinect is they're looking past their core again with all these family-friendly games. Sea of Thieves, nobody asked for that shit. That's why me opting to leave Microsoft is not for Sony, but for PC. Because I have different tastes, okay? I'm not mad at anybody that likes God of War. But you can't expect, look, the type of games I like, I feel like, you can't ask somebody that don't like that likes sports cars, but don't like what Porsche's doing. You can't go to them and say, hey, you know what, but Prius is kicking it across the street with their peoples. Okay, go for Prius. I don't care what the bugs is doing. I want a sports car. And what Sony's offered is not a sports car. But with that being said, if you like what they're doing, that's good for you. But I just want to make it very clear. With the caveats, lies, and Twitter posts. Your boy is arguing this year and I'm pushing this year for Microsoft to bring those innovative experiences that brought us on board. Okay. Last year, I was arguing that the system does have value. It does have value to the average gamer. It's just a matter of fact that it did have value to it, and that there were people that were trying to say no, it doesn't, no, it doesn't, no, it doesn't, and it did. But now in 2018, now that we see that the new regime is trying to look past its core, it's becoming more and more evident by the day. We need to hold the fire under the feet of Phil and all them. And we need to make sure that they understand they cannot drop us. They need to look to us like how Sony looks to its core. And I get it, Microsoft, to appease your core, it might be a little bit more challenging. But hey, you stepped into the arena, baby. You got to be ready to bang. It's as simple as that. All right, let me get to the chat real quick and I'm going to drop it off. All right. 706 Gamer, my man Noah said, I want a couple of God of War S games on the Xbox. Okay, you can. Or what you could do is you could pick up a PlayStation and write an X on it. Get the hell out of here. Tim Diamond, just want innovative games, which God of War is not. And I agree with that. Top Dog, the games, the OG Xbox was the Dreamcast too. Hey, that's fine. They were on the Xbox though. I appreciate it. And then a lot, Knights of the Old Republic, you know what I'm saying? And a bunch of other stuff that can't come to mind right now. But no, they had some bangers on the OG Xbox, man. You know what I mean? Not all of them were Dreamcast 2 games. My man, TRS Fusion Wolf, he said, while Sony's roster usually isn't limited enough and bores the hell out of me, it's true. They do put their spear hitters first. I'll give them that. That is true. So, with that being said, I'm out, peoples, because I know I want to watch that. What's his name? Yeah, the Top Dog said, you better go on PC. You're not getting anywhere with innovative console because the casuals run the industry. You're absolutely right. The only thing that helped me, TRS Fusion Wolf will tell you, the only thing that helped me from going to PC anyway was The cheating. The cheating, it was a big deterrent, but it looks like I'm going to go that way. All right, MNC in Mornings is on. I'm going to let y'all get to that. I got to take care of some stuff for the wife. Y'all enjoy, and as always, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day.